We just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to review the season finale of Game of Thrones entitled The Children. Yes, those children. So we pick up where we left off last week with, over in the north and Jon Snow heading into the fire, trying to negotiate with Mance Rayder. He went in there and his goal was to assassinate him. He wanted to catch him by surprise, thinking that if he killed him, even if he himself died or suffered, it would break the ties that bind everybody together, everybody in the north. And it seemed like he got caught because he's eyeing the blade and they caught him out there. And lo and behold, who arrives but Stannis Baratheon? And boy, that was some entrance. He came in from both ends. It was an epic scene. I love the way and they just trounced them. They trounced them. There was no match. These guys came in on horseback. It wasn't even a competition. They just destroyed them. And it's funny. I see Melisandre had been saying, because I know a couple of weeks ago, a couple of guys said, hey, how do you know he's going up there? But Melisandre had said, and they even showed it in the preview before the show, she had said many times that he needs to go up there. So, once they keep pushing that issue, it kind of gives it away. So, but it was good to see that he got up there right on time, not only for Jon Snow's ass to be saved, but quite frankly to save the Night's Watch, because I don't think they could have stood one more night of bombardment. I really don't. So it was nice. It was nice that he got up there. Kind of weird though, Jon Snow looking into the fire at the funeral pyre as he's looking at his friends at the funeral, and Melisandre appears behind the fire, looking right at Jon Snow, wanting that king's blood. Yeah. The only thing is Ned Stark's not a king, so maybe I don't know. I'm wrong. So that was good. That was very good. Now we're gonna see what's gonna happen with that. A lot of things happened in this show. It was a lot longer than normal. It was over an hour. We got caught up with Bran finally, and he makes it to his destination, much to the demise of, I think Jurgen is his name, and he, I really thought his sister was going to kill herself. Is that just me? When she stood there with the knife and the little girl, now that I know what you guys talk about, I guess the kids of the forest or the children of the forest, and the little girl says, you can die with him or live when you come live with me. And she pulled out the knife, and I'm thinking, well, I guess she's going to kill herself and just die with him. But no, she finished him off quickly so he wouldn't have to suffer, and then she took off. Now, the funny thing is, I'm wondering, those skeletons that came out the ground, are those like White Walkers or those men who fell before and they came back? I'm just curious, maybe if somebody in the book reader, unless they play some pivotal role to the book that don't give it away for me then. But I'm just curious if those skeletons are White Walkers that have come back, or they just random undead skeletons that decided to. It was a very cool scene, very very cool scene. A lot of cool scenes in this episode. The little girl throwing the fireballs, that was pretty epic. But a little unfortunate because Bran finally gets to his destination. He sees this man that is sitting on a throne or tree throne or something, and he tells him, you're never gonna walk again, but I'm gonna I guess show you how to fly. So I don't know where that's going. Because we never returned there. That's kind of where it ended, and then they moved on. So obviously something we're going to have to wait for until next season. So then we go out to Daenerys Targaryen's corner of the world, and probably a very sad moment. The man coming up the stairs, and he shows his daughter that's been slain by her dragon, and yeah, that was kind of sad. That I was like, oh man, that's rough. Especially if you have kids. If you have kids, you see something like that. That's pretty rough to watch. So it forced her to make a decision. She had to put her dragons in chains. Now she still hasn't found the black one yet. He's still roaming around and killing shit, so she's gonna have to find him. But at least for now, the other two minimize his damage a little bit. Chain him up. It's unfortunate, but those things are getting big. They're rough, and yeah, things are gonna happen. Also thought it was interesting that there was another visitor that kind of made Daenerys feel like she's, or at least question some of the decisions she's made. A man who was once a slave, and though he was a slave, his master happened to treat him really, really good. He taught the kids loved him, he had a relationship. Even though he was a slave, he was one of the few slaves that were treated well. And now, even though he's technically free, he is not living the life he once was. You know, he's been bullied by younger people and not fed, and you know, I guess these little camps that they have in the city where the slaves can find ways to eat and have shelter, and it's just not working out for him. He actually had it better as a slave than he does as a free man. So very, very interesting scenario there, and it's going to be it's you see that she's having a hard time ruling. She's trying to do good, but even doing good is not working out. So it's gonna, you know, we'll have to wait till next year once again to see how she evolves as a queen and as a leader. So moving on from there, we go down to Westeros, and I'm probably out of order here. It was a long episode, and you know, this is probably not gonna be the only video I do because there's a lot of things that went down. But the scene with Cersei and Tywin, and her standing up to her father, actually was a very powerful scene. I really did like that scene. As much as I don't like Cersei, I like how she stood up to her father. She stood her ground and then threatened him. And he's in complete denial. You know for a fact he knows that they have a relationship. He still denied it. He was like, I don't believe you. And it's like she's telling you right to your face. And he's just in denial. He wants to think of his family as perfect and all this good stuff. So, and then the scene after where she goes to see Jaime in the chamber, and it was just like, I don't love, when she said, I don't love Tywin, I love my brother, I just kind of cringed. You know what I mean? And then, like, when she got down on her knees, I'm like, oh my God, is she going to give him a blowjob? That's just going to do it. That's going to overdo it for me right now. But yeah, they did their thing, you know, what one thing brothers and sisters don't normally do. This is so weird. But, so yeah, so moving on from that, so we finally get to see Brienne and Podrick again. And this probably for me was one of the highlights of the episode. She finds Arya, you know, after talking with the little, you know, what she thought was the little girl, and then the Hound coming out, and she put two and two together. Once Podrick said who he was, and she, you know, she's like, all right, I gotta protect this girl. Arya doesn't trust a soul in the world, and she shouldn't. And Brienne and the Hound get into this epic battle, and I'm like, holy shit. Man, I didn't know who was going to win. I really didn't. And boy, was it a fight, man. Brienne took some shots, boy. And she gave them too, man. She was punching the shit out of them. They were just going back. I mean, I'm sitting there. And it was a very conflicting fight. Because on one hand, we've been kind of behind the Hound and Arya the whole way. And on the other hand, Brienne is Brienne. You know, she's cool. She's honorable. Podrick's a good squire. Here they are about to fight. And I'm sitting there like, I don't know who the fuck to root for. It's a conflicting fight, but that's what made it so epic, because you didn't want to see one lose and you didn't want to see the other lose, but somebody had to lose. And either way, it's not a horrible loss, because you know that whichever one wins, you'll be somewhat happy. But I gotta say, I was a little bit biased towards Brienne. I really like the character, and Sandor has, you know, the Hound has done some bad shit in the past. He really has. But the way that Arya just left him there to rot, man, cold as ice, baby, willing to sacrifice, and she did. She sacrificed that ass. That's right. Let me take your money. You can lay here and die, and I'm gonna keep it moving. And that's what she did. It was very, very good. It was, I mean, very good episode. So finally, and again, I'm sure I haven't touched on all points here because it was a longer episode than normal, and I can't just cover everything in one review. Not with this episode, because there's a lot of things to dissect. But finally, we get to Tyrion. Okay, and this right here, Jaime coming in, and you knew that he was going to do something. I knew this. I knew he was going to get him out. And Varys had a lot to do with it. And it was a very nice moment when Jaime hugged him and even kissed him on the cheek. It was very touching. It really was. It was a nice moment. And I see Tyrion sitting there, and he's looking up the stairs, and I'm like, motherfucker, would you go? Get out. But he turns around, and I guess there's these secret paths that lead into different rooms in the castle. So he takes one that goes into the Hand's chambers. He walks in, and at first I didn't think there was anybody on the bed. And then as you get closer, you see an ass sticking out. And he creeps in closer, and you hear Shay's voice. Tywin, my lion. And as she says it, she sees Tyrion. And I'm like, man, you did not just refer to Tywin as your lion when you used to call Tyrion your lion. And he heard it. And she goes for the knife. He jumps on the bed. He restrains her and chokes the bitch out. You know what? And she deserved it. She really did. Not only did she, you know, sell out and testify against him, now she's fucking his dad. Oh, man. That's insult to injury right there. And finally, he grabs Joffrey's crossbow. What could be more justified? He heads to the bathroom, and there is Tywin Lannister on the shitter. You know, he was one Shay short of a Blumpkin. Yep, he was. Hey, if he had dragged Shay to the bathroom and just said, give this man some head, Tywin would have died while having a Blumpkin. It's not such a bad way to go. It's not such a bad way to go. But, you know, it's funny. You see Tywin trying to, persuade, and you're my son. I would never kill you. But he's saying it with that same demeanor. Like, he was very cool, very smooth. Had it been anyone else other than Tyrion, he probably would have gotten out of that. But Tyrion's not stupid. Tyrion knows his father. Tyrion knows his father's full of shit. And he held his word. He told him, you say whore one more time. He said it, shot him right in the chest. And I got to say, I was very surprised, but it didn't affect me the way Joffrey's death did, because I hated Joffrey. I don't necessarily hate Tywin Lannister, believe it or not. I actually admire that character quite a bit. He is an asshole. I'm not saying he's not. He is an asshole. But I actually admire him because of all the shit that he's been twisting around for the last couple of seasons. But this is a redemption if you're a Stark fan. If you're a Stark fan, you got your redemption. After what happened last year with the Red Wedding and all that other stuff, this was a very redeeming season for Stark fans. I can't say that I'm a Stark fan. I like the Starks, but I like Jon Snow, Tyrion Lannister, Arya Stark. Those are like my favorites. And speaking of Arya, did anyone else kind of think that when she was riding the horse towards the boat, the white horse, for some reason I kept getting hit with like Never-Ending Story. She looked like a Treo on the white horse. I swear to God, with that hair. But now we see she's heading to Braavos. She got the coin that the assassin gave her, so she's heading to Braavos. She's going to start her own life. As far as she's concerned, everything that happened back there is over, and I'm dying to see where she goes. I'm dying to see how she really, really comes into her own, being independent, having a little bit of change. She's already started off on the right foot, getting the coin and saying the words. Man, it was a great episode. It was a fantastic season. And it's only building towards possibly another good one, because another one even better, because of everything that's happened. So, but anyway, guys, that's it. This has been a long enough video. It's almost 15 minutes. We will talk more Game of Thrones this week. There's still a lot of other things. I want to see the episode a couple of times and speak on some more things, maybe highlight certain things. But fantastic episode. Fantastic episode. Fantastic season. Not happy about all the questions that linger, but you know, that they shows do that. They got to do. They can't close things like that. So I understand why they did it. I just wish I would like to know about the Tree Man, and I would like to know more about, you know, where's Tyrion going, the Black Dragon, and, you know, all this stuff. So, but anyway, guys, that's it for this video. This is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Nation Facebook page. You're watching ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to review the season finale of Game of Thrones, entitled The Children. Yes, those children. So we pick up where we left off last week with, you know, over in the north, and Jon Snow heading into the fire, trying to negotiate with Mance Rayder. You know, he went in there, and his goal was to assassinate him. He wanted to catch him by surprise, thinking that if he killed him, even if he himself died or suffered, it would break the ties that bind everybody together, everybody in the north. And you know, it seemed like he got caught, because he's eyeing the blade, and they caught him out there. And lo and behold, who arrives but Stannis Baratheon? And boy, that was some entrance. He came in from both ends. It was an epic, epic scene. I love the way and they just trounced them. They trounced them. There was no match. I mean, these guys came in on horseback. You know, it wasn't even a competition. They just destroyed them. And it's funny. I see Melisandre had been saying, you know, because I know a couple of weeks ago, a couple of guys said, hey, you know, how do you know he's going up there? But Melisandre had said, and they even showed it in the preview before the show, she had said many times that he needs to go up there. So, you know, once they keep pushing that issue, it kind of gives it away. So, but it was good to see that he got up there, right on time, not only for Jon Snow's ass to be saved, but quite frankly to save the Night's Watch, because I don't